Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would you call the roll, please, Mr. Castader?
Yes. Mr. Beckman?
Yes.
Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinfelter?
Present.
Mrs. Webb? Mr. Young?
Here. Would everyone please stand and join the Board of Education in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Dr. Rice, would you like to review the agenda, please?
Yes, thank you. Prior to reviewing the agenda, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda, add item F under Superintendent's Reports and Recommendations. That will be for the ratification for a 4-year master contract between the REA and the Ross Local School District's Board of Education. Tonight, after we get through the formalities at the beginning, we'll have 2 presentations. Morgan Spotlight. We see lots of kiddos in the audience tonight. That's always a great thing. We also have one other presentation tonight where we will recognize an outgoing board member who has served 2 terms for our district. Items for board discussion this evening. We do have several pieces of policy. We will talk through this evening and then later vote for the Butler Tech representative, which is a 3-year term. And then we will have our reports from legislative, Butler Tech, public comments. When we move on to superintendent's reports and recommendations, we will block A through E. That is employment, where there are a couple of stipends, and then Title I tutor stipends. There is policy as read and discussed at last board meeting. There are 4 overnight field trips. I will review the national compliance report for food services, and then we will, as we spoke about earlier, we will vote on a Butler Tech representative for a 3-year term, so those will all be blocked, and then we'll have letter F, which would be that 4-year master contract that we discussed. And then I'll turn it over to Mr. Castaner.
Yep. It's a short agenda for the Treasurer's Department tonight. Just the 3 items, letters A through C, our monthly reports, and 2 donations to approve tonight.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion from a board member to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, recall the roll, please.
Yes. Mr. Beckman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinfelter?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes. Motion passes. All right, we have had an opportunity to look through the minutes of our November 20th board meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, we call the roll, please.
Yes. Mr. Kleinfelter?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Beckman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, Dr. Rice?
Yeah, under presentations, item number 6, we have letter A, Morgan Elementary Spotlight. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Tom Perry, the principal for Morgan Elementary.
I'd like to thank the Board of Education and Dr. Rice for inviting our students out this evening so we can spotlight our student council. Also, parents, I appreciate you bringing them out. We started out, we had 2, then we had 3, 4, and then we have 8. So it's exciting to see them. So let's go ahead and bring them up, guys. Come on up here. So our student council years ago was in 5th grade. Then our 5th grade was transferred, and then we had 4th grade. Then they left us, so we had 3rd grade, and our advisor talked and said, hey, do we still have student council? We said, sure, let's try it, and that's been for many years, and it's been great. So our student council, obviously it's an opportunity for them to get involved in the school, to learn skills outside the classroom, and to have an opportunity not to really be in the governance piece of the community, but having some school community feel and being part of the leadership in the building. So, in fact, one of our students was over there and said, hey, do we get to sit in those chairs and talk in those microphones? And I said, well, you're only on student council right now. Down the road, you could be part of the Board of Education. So, and then also, I think you look back at a lot of our government officials, and even I think it was President Reagan, he was president of his student council in high school. So one of you guys could be president of the United States. I like to see that. So we have 2 advisors for our student council. Mrs. Shelley Bowers is one of our advisors. Mrs. Mara Elam is under the weather today. She had to leave today and is not feeling well, so she usually helps with this crew. So at this time, I will turn things over to Shelley Bowers.
Thank you. Leave it to Mr. Perry to give the little fun, extra details, right? I know, the little fun facts. So, like you said, my name is Shelley Bowers. I am the media manager or the librarian at Morgan, and I'm also a co-advisor for student council. Mrs. Elam and I have been doing this together for about 4 years now, and it's really fun, and it's getting to know the kids each year on a different level is also really enjoyable. I have to say that one of the things that I enjoy the most about being the student council advisor is seeing the growth in each of them each year. When we start out at the very beginning, we talk about leadership, we talk about confidence, and they're not quite sure exactly what that leadership looks like. But as we continue through the year and work on different service projects for our community and for our school and our teachers and our students, it's just fun to see that growth in them, not only in their leadership qualities, but also in the confidence that they show throughout the year. So, and especially at this young age, I think that's so important. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with our presentation. So thank you so much for giving us this time.
Hello, my name is Jack Drennan, and I am a part of 3rd grade Morgan Elementary and part of our student council. We have 12 members in our student council with 8 members represented tonight. The students unable to attend are Rowan Ritchie, Zoe Michael, Soy Basham, and Sian Geyser. Now I'd like to introduce the student council members who are here tonight.
Hello, I'm Odom Lemma. Hi, I'm Mackenzie Shoup. Hi, Vivi Day. Hi, I'm Lily Castile. Hi, I'm Allie Rule.
Hi, I'm Brett Reinhardt.
Hi, I'm Pierce Lauk.
As we begin our presentation, please enjoy the brief slideshow behind showcasing a few of our service projects around our school and community. We are looking forward to plans we have in the coming year. We hope you enjoy our presentation.
Good evening, school board members. We are 3rd graders from Morgan Elementary, and we're excited to share the community service projects we've been working on this year. One of our biggest projects was the RAM Canned Food Drive. Our school collected more than 2,000 canned goods to help families in our community. Over the past 5 years, we have collected over 12,000 canned goods for the RAM Pantry.
We helped sort and count all the donations, and it felt great knowing we were making a difference for local families during the holidays. We also collected items for Blue Star veterans. These donations were sent to the homeless veterans and to veterans receiving care at the Dayton and Cincinnati VA hospitals.
Helping our veterans was important to us because they served our country and we wanted to show them kindness and support. Another project we love is our preschool book buddies. Each month, our preschool classrooms come to the media center and we read stories based on a fun theme and do an activity with them.
We help them, the preschoolers, with their activities, and we try to be good role models. It is one of our favorite ways to serve younger students. We also help take care of our teachers through the Sunshine Cart. We prepare sheets and messages to show how much we appreciate the staff.
It always makes the teachers smile. We like spreading kindness around the building. Another way we help our school is by doing weekly recycling. We collect paper from every classroom and
take it to the recycling bins.
Recycling helps keep our school clean and helps the environment. We are proud to be leaders in taking care of our planet. Thank you for letting us share our projects. We are proud to serve our school and community, and we will keep working hard to make Morgan a great place for everyone.
Great job, guys, and I can say with all confidence, you represented Morgan Elementary very well. Good job. I love it.
Thank you, Mr. Perry, and all the students from Morgan. Good things happening there. That's great.
Do you want to give it?
If you'd like to
Yeah.
take this opportunity to leave, we open that up as a possibility. I know these students are anxious to go home and study.
Lots of learning going on tomorrow.
Thank you, parents, for bringing them to this evening. We really appreciate it. Thank you for your support of the Ross School District. All right. Dr. Rice?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Young. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize a special board member here tonight. It is his last ever board meeting, 2 terms, and if you could humor me a little bit, I'd like to read a short little statement, and then we've got a couple of gifts, and we'll take some pictures and whatnot. Mr. Keith Kleinfelder was elected to the Ross Board of Education in November 2021, marking his 2nd term being elected to the Ross Board of Education. Mr. Kleinfelder is a career educator. He's earned his bachelor's degree in science and secondary education and a master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Cincinnati. He's taught at Tyler High School for 13 years. Keith went on to be an assistant principal at Finneytown for 2 years, principal at Finneytown High School for 4 years, principal of Ross High School for 6 years, and principal of William Henry Harrison High School for 5 years. That's a lot of years as a high school principal.
That's why he doesn't have any hair.
After a short retirement, he returned back home to Ross High School as a guidance counselor for 2 years. He's currently an adjunct professor at Bowling Green State University in the College of Teaching and Learning. Keith is married to Julie, who is a teacher at Morgan Elementary and Ross Middle School for 30 years. He has a daughter, Tara, who is also a 2014 Ross graduate. Keith, I'd like to just personally thank you for all of your service to the district and the community. Thank you for all the support you've given me as a now 2nd-year superintendent. And again, we've got a couple of gifts, and if the board members wanted to say anything or we'll take a picture together as well. So,
I'd just like to say that I've known Keith for a long time, and he really does have his interest in doing what's best for kids. And I've heard him say that on numerous occasions, making decisions in the best interest of kids. And I think that's really commendable, and it certainly, I think, is what we're all about. And I appreciate the leadership you've shown as our 3 new board members came on the board 2 years ago. You've really helped us make the transition to being board members. We thank you very much for that.
No, I'd like to echo some of the same sentiments. It's been a pleasure getting to know you over the last couple of years. And, I really want to wish you well in, I don't want to call it retirement, but with some newfound time. And, again, just want to thank you for everything you've done for Ross.
I want to say that as well. I sit in those finance meetings with you, and you've always got a different perspective that, coming from the outside, I didn't come through the educational arena, so it's always neat to see a different perspective and, how things are ran, how things are actually ran. And I learned a lot over the past couple of years with you on the committee, and I definitely appreciate it. Learned a lot.
Yeah. And for me, Keith, I've known you for, I don't know, over a decade now. I got to serve with you on 2 terms of the board, and I do appreciate your service and you being a colleague, and I consider you one of my friends. I appreciate you taking my phone calls and always being a thought partner with things, and bouncing ideas off you, and you're definitely going to be missed, and even though you're leaving the board, doesn't mean you're not going to hear from me. So just appreciate everything.
So we've got a couple of things. We have.
Can I say something?
Oh, yeah, if you want to right now, go for it.
Just two things. Favorite part about being a board member is participating in commencement, sitting on stage, and not have to worry about all the details that go into that as a former high school principal. That's probably my favorite activity as a board member. The least favorite activity is when someone calls you and says, hey, did you see what they said about you on Facebook? And you go check it out, and here some keyboard warrior has misspelled every third word, and they're telling you what a horrible decision you made about something. And it's just frustrating because it's impossible as a public employee or a teacher to fight back sometimes that's probably the least favorite. I think the internet has done a lot of damage to things because people can say and do things that they would never ever say to you in person. And but that's the least. But commencement has always been my favorite activity, especially knowing what all goes into that. Behind the scenes and worrying about whether you forget a flag on the stage or whatever, or mispronounce some kid's name. It's terrible, but so that's my two favorite takeaways from being on the board.
So we do have a couple of parting gifts for you. Number one is a T-shirt that I think is fitting. It says "School Board Member Legend has retired." That's for you.
I might wear that down to the coffee shop tomorrow.
And then, as superintendent, I wanted to present to you Ross Local School District's Key to the District to Mr. Keith Kleinfelder, 2025. So, and if we could have the board stand and take a picture with Keith? Sure.
Yep.
You probably already have the keys, but
No.
never gave them up, did you?
Next item on our agenda, Dr. Rice, is the list of policy items that we'll be asked to approve next month.
Yes, thank you. So almost all of these policies are coming again from the biennial budget as we continue to work through that massive piece of legislation. And I'll kind of group them together because there are some themes here. The first two that we're going to review tonight is DBD and DE, that is budget planning, or what was the 5-year forecast and revenues for state sources. House Bill 96 made various revisions to the district budgeting and forecasting process, namely what we used to call the 5-year forecast. The 5-year forecast is the process that districts are accustomed to. It is being replaced with a required submission of the current budget information in 3 years of projects. By August 31st each fiscal year, and by the last day of February each year, the board must submit updated appropriations, revenue, and fund balance information for the budget. The rules must allow the auditor of state and ODU to examine the current budget information and 3-year projections and determine whether any further fiscal analysis is needed to ascertain whether the district has the potential to incur a deficit during the first 2 years of the 3-year period. Second part of this bill was the levy changes. The provision has been amended to also require school boards to obtain approval from the County Budget Commission for each county in which the district has territory before adopting a resolution to implement that proposal. And that's one of those things we're worried about. When the district provides a copy of the notice that is required to the county auditor must certify a copy of that notice to the County Budget Commission. Upon certification, the County Budget Commission must schedule a hearing. During the commission hearing, the school district must present evidence demonstrating the need for the levy to the County Budget Commission. The district is prohibited from changing the levy unless by a majority rule. The County Budget Commission approves the need to change the levy. And again, as we've talked about with this legislation, this is putting the power in a small group that was not elected for this purpose to decide whether we really need the money or not. So you can see where that can be be dangerous. Any questions about DBD or DE? Next, we have DLC expense reimbursements. Ohio public officials are permitted now to benefit from their personal use from frequent flyer miles, credit card rewards, hotel points, or other rewards earned during official business. So this used to be a big no-no. I can remember using the Kroger card. You couldn't get rewards for that if you were buying something for work. Now we get to. The end. I don't know. Whoop-de-doo. So any questions about DLC? Next, we have DJC, bidding requirements, subjects multifunction school activity buses to be purchased under the amended regulations to the same competitive bidding requirements as other school buses. So you're going to see throughout the several of these, it's specific to vans and school districts. There was a lot of information in this biennial budget about those. Any questions about DJC? EBC, Emergency Management and Safety Plans. You wouldn't know it, but this is the cell phone ban. Right, it's an emergency management and safety plans, but it is. And we're ahead of the times on this as we've already banned them. House Bill 96 requires school boards to adopt a policy that prohibits all cell phone use by students during the instructional day. As under continuing law, if determined appropriate by the district's board, or if it's included in the student's individual education plan or 504 plan, students may use the cell phone accordingly. Any questions about EBC? And again, we've been doing this now for half a year, no issues. Now the remaining ones are all grouped together. EEA, which is Student Transportation Services, EEAD, which is non-routine use of school buses and motor vans, EEAC, School Bus Safety Program, EEACCR, a regulation, student conduct on district-managed transportation, EEACD, drug testing for motor van drivers and district personnel required to hold a commercial driver's license, and then finally EEACD, Regulation 2, drug testing for motor van drivers. Essentially put, and there's a lot of wording with these, essentially put, vans have to be treated the same as school buses. So similar to school bus drivers that are licensed by the state of Ohio, they can be drug tested at any time. School van drivers can be drug tested at any time as well. Now what has changed for us now is we have several of our coaches that may be teachers that have a van license. So before this, they weren't subjected to those same rules that a CDL bus driver was. Now they are. So Justin and I have spoken about at his beginning of the year meetings with coaches. He needs to talk about this and how this changes. And all the same rules that bus drivers have, now these van drivers have as well. Any questions about any of those transportation rules?
Is there any policy against drug testing, random drug tests? I know, like when I was at AK, you couldn't random drug test people. Is this, or is there crossing a line with this, or is there something that we need to?
Those are specific to board policies, and I'd have to look up what ours specifically is on random drug testing. You know, our policy, we don't randomly drug test drivers, but if they get into any sort of car accident, fender bender, back into something, they always have to go get tested.
Okay.
We've just made that a standing, even if you're not at fault, you still have to go get tested. And they're aware of that. So van drivers, that'll be one of the things we educate them on.
Okay. Thank you.
And that concludes all I have tonight for policy under letter A. The only other item I have under items for board discussion is the Butler Tech representative, which is a 3-year term, and I'll turn that over to Mr. Young to discuss that.
Yeah, thank you. So we're required to have a representative from the Board of Education on the Butler Tech Board of Education. Mr. Kleinfelder has very nicely been doing that for the board now for a number of years. He knows a lot about Butler Tech, and the law does allow us to have someone representing our school board on the Butler Tech Board of Education that is not a member of our Board of Education. So at this point in time, the board, I think, feels that the best position for us to take is to have Mr. Kleinfelder continue as our representative on the Butler Tech Board due to his many years of experience there, and then he will come to each of our board meetings and give us a report as he does now on the activities. So we'll be approving that here in just a minute. But Anyone have any further comment or questions about that? Okay.
He said the only way he would do this is if he was one of the earlier agenda items.
Yeah, we'll have to move him up in the agenda so he can leave.
Not item number Z, or letter Z.
With the kids.
Those are all the items I have for board discussion tonight under number 7.
Okay, great. Do we have a legislative report this evening?
Yes, there was one thing signed. Governor DeWine signed House Bill 434 into law. It makes corrections to the transportation and main operating budgets. I don't think that has, there's obviously implications, but I don't think it's any big implications to what, where we're at. And then there's several more still on his desk that he hasn't signed in yet, unless something's changed. But
Yeah, I don't believe he's signed them. Correct.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
only
if he
got 10
doesn't,
days to do it.
if he doesn't take action tomorrow, they automatically become
automatically.
law on Saturday.
Which I think is the play.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that next month.
Okay. Butler Tech report, Mr. Kleinfelder?
Yeah, last week we had the pleasure of going to the American Council of Teachers of Technical Education, and Tony Huff, our Director of Special Services, he got a national award, one of 3, for his work with Project Life. Project Life's a program where they're working with students on IEPs that are going to be pursuing jobs and careers. And that program has expanded. Butler Tech has sold programming in like 10 or 12 states and 1 foreign country, and they're getting a lot of recognition for that curriculum. And Tony's a pretty special guy, spent 27 years in special education, and he's a nice guy and well-deserving of that award. It's kind of neat to see him be one of 3 nationwide with all the vocational schools and career technical centers that are out there. So that was last week. And then going on with the budget crisis and the property tax, Dr. Sprankles talked to us about, he got a group of career technical centers to write letters and emails to Governor Wine urging him to veto that. Of course, it has a significant impact financially to them like it does us. Butler Tech's looking at losing $2.7 million if that goes into effect, which in their total budget, not that devastating as it would be to us in the local school district, but it's still $2.7 million, significant amount of money to lose just by the stroke of a pen in the budget bill. So that's that. This past Tuesday, before the board meeting from 5 to 7, they had their annual Christmas dinner where they typically they've invited back past board members, past administrators. The culinary arts students put on it used to be a sit-down dinner. This year it was expanded to more of a small plate affair. They invited business partners, legislators, Miami University's president was there, and they're trying to make it a more of a social event where people can walk around and talk and experience all the things that are going on with Butler Tech. The format was well received. It was a little different. You know, in the past, you get 3 Ross former board members at one table and this and that, and it wasn't as social. So this gave everybody a chance to talk about what they do and kind of a little more interaction. So that was pretty successful. And the other thing came up was there's a requirement now for graduation going to be that we're going to have to teach 1 computer science class. That came up. That's been proposed. It was both in the Senate and the House at the same time. And usually when that happens, that passes. So just on the horizon that there'll be an unfunded mandate there that we'll have to teach a class that we're currently not teaching.
Well,
And I don't know where they're going to find all these
the
computer
kids pretty
science
much,
teachers.
when they get to the high school, they've had a lot of instruction. I don't,
I'm sure it'll be like, remember when financial literacy came out, you could embed it in,
yeah, well, that's probably true.
and I'm sure there'll be standards that you can embed somewhere else. We'll invent it after they pass the law. It's usually what we do.
All right. And that's it for Butler Tech this month.
Thank you very much. Did we have any public comment?
We do
None?
not.
Okay, great. All right, let's move on to the superintendent's reports and recommendations for voting.
Thank you. Under number 11, Superintendent's Reports and Recommendations, again, I would like to block A through E. Letter A is employment. That is stipends, supplementals, Title I tutors for family night. That stipend that comes from title funds, Title 1A grants. Letter B is policy as discussed at the November board meeting. C is overnight field trips, of which there are 4. D, the national compliance reports for food service. This is required by law, but for board review and action, there are 2 hyperlinks that can be found on board docs that go over the smart snack guidelines to make sure that we're serving the healthy snacks that we're supposed to be doing. And then item E is Butler Tech representative for a 3-year term.
And that would be Mr. Kleinfelder.
That would be Mr. Kleinfelder. So if you
Okay.
want to take a vote for A through E, and then we'll move on to F.
Sure. Do we have a motion to approve items A through E of the superintendent's recommendations?
I will make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, will you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Beckman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinfelter?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to item F.
Yes, in a separate vote, item F, which is a 4-year master contract between the Ross Educator Association and the Ross Local School District Board of Education.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement?
Motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Call the roll, please.
Yes. Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Beckman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinfelter?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes. I'd just like to take a moment, if I could, with the passage of the collective bargaining agreement, just to read a statement from the board. That's all right. On behalf of the Board of Education of the Ross Local School District, I want to express our appreciation to those involved in the negotiations process. And we know it takes a lot of dedication. I know that the groups have worked together diligently over the past several months to reach this agreement. It's easy to underestimate the amount of time that is involved in a process like this, and it occurs mostly behind closed doors, so a lot of people never really know how much time it really takes. The board recognizes and commends the hours spent in discussion, review, and of all the people that were involved. We know that there's a lot of compromise that takes place to arrive at a contract. And we believe it reflects the values and priorities of our district. We're proud of the professionalism and commitment shown by those involved in the process. I hope people remember, as board members, we're not just elected officials, we're also members of the community. And as such, we live here, our families are here. We're honored to represent the Ross community and the district to the community. This agreement reflects our responsibility to consider not only the needs of our staff and students, but also the longer-term impact on that broader community. While no agreement is perfect, we believe this 4-year contract marks an important step forward, one that balances recognition of our educators with a commitment to financial responsibility for the community. We look forward to continuing to build on this momentum as we focus together on what matters most, our students and their success. So, thank you again to all involved.
Thank you, Mr. Young. I would like to give him the opportunity to say something as well.
Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Young, and I want to echo the board's gratitude to all those who have contributed to this agreement and to our teachers who have remained steadfast in their focus on our students through this process. This 4-year contract is a major step forward for our district. In recent district history, we have only been able to commit to 1 or 2-year agreements. A 4-year contract demonstrates faith in our team and our shared mission and in our ability to work together. Is this agreement perfect? Absolutely not. No contract ever is. But this was done with 2 goals in mind: to reward our educators for their dedication and to sustain the stability of our district into the future. That becomes even more critical as Ohio continues to shift the financial burden of public education to local communities. I want to emphasize, this moment isn't just about resolving a negotiation. It's about how we move forward together. The challenges of the past still linger, but I believe this agreement gives us the space to focus again on healing and rebuilding trust. Let's take this opportunity to listen, to collaborate, and to keep our focus where it belongs, on the success of our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Castater, I'm sorry.
Yes, so 3 items tonight, letters A through C. We'll block those together in one vote. It's our monthly investment report, our cash summary and financial snapshot, as well as a couple donations. So those letters A through C blocked together for one vote.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the treasurer's recommendations?
I will make the motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we call the roll, please.
Yes. Mr. Beckman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinfelter?
Yes.
Mrs. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes. Motion passes. Do we have any reports from board committees?
Yes, we did have the Finance Committee, was it last week, I believe? And a lot of discussion over, the 3 documents and that Steve just presented, financial snapshots of the district, as well as some talks of the negotiation and what that would do to the impact of the district. So other than that, nothing more than that.
Okay. Facilities Committee, I think, was postponed.
Yeah, I think we're planning on having a meeting next month.
Okay.
So we should have hopefully more to report next month, at next month's board meeting.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's go around the table here and give board members a chance to comment before we adjourn. Mr. Kleinfelder, we'll start with you.
Last meeting, but I'll be back, giving a report. Looking forward to it. Enjoyed my time on the board. It's always interesting, and you just never know what you're going to get into sometimes. So keep an open mind, keep the faith, and everything will be all right. It's a great school district, great community, and I'm glad to be a part of it for all this time.
Mrs. Webb?
I'll keep this short. I just want to wish everybody an absolutely wonderful holiday break. Rest, relax, recharge, enjoy the holiday season with your family, and we will see you in the new year.
Great. Mr. Beckman?
Again, I want to congratulate Keith on what I thought was going to be some free time, but you're coming back to board meetings anyway. So, but again, I want to thank you for your commitment to the Ross School District. And I want to thank everybody that works in and around the district. I think the impact that we make on kids is absolutely phenomenal. Everybody down to the lowest paid person to the highest paid person. There are kids that everybody in between has made an impact. And, I think it is important for everyone to see the achievement that we have within our children. And, that's what we're all here for. We all have different jobs, and we all have different levels of commitment that we have with those jobs. So, I want to thank, the teachers, the staff, the bus drivers, the custodians. I want to thank everybody involved. This meeting concludes my second year as a board member, and I will admit we've had some tough times over the last year specifically, and I think it is the job of the board to have those tough discussions and make those tough decisions and try to, for lack of better terms, use some type of balance to try to help everybody involved. Everything from the recent negotiations to the difficult decision to close the RIS building. Again, everything is always, I personally try to look at everything as a positive and try to find the good in every decision that we have to make and try to use everything that we have available to us to make the best decision. Again, I am a community member. I am a board member. My kids are enrolled here. And the number of people that have made an impact on my kids in this community is phenomenal. And, you know, again, I just want to thank everyone there, and I would like to give kind of a special shout out to the music department. I've been able to attend both the choir and band concert for one of my children, and we have some phenomenal leadership there. Dr. Rice was in attendance for one of them, and with me, and you know, I didn't know Mr. Morlock also had a comedic side. So he has a lot of fun with the kids, and the impact that he makes on those kids is phenomenal. So again, I don't want that to go unnoticed. You know, everyone in this district cares about the kids, and at the end of the day, we are all grateful for, you know, again, the school board especially, like Keith mentioned earlier, we are privileged to sit on that stage at the end of the year and congratulate each and every one of those children for walking across that stage and achieving what some may think they can't do, and, you know, helping them along the way. So again, I look forward to starting next year and continuing my term as a board member.
Great, that was good.
Mr. Gunther?
Yep, I got a little bit long speech, so I like to type things out and read, so apologize if I don't look up in advance, but, you know, there's a message, you know, I'd like to send. You know, I've been involved in a lot of negotiations in my previous work. You know, this one hit a little bit different because I was involved a little bit more. And so putting down into words, you know, I just want to be clear that the thoughts I'm sharing tonight are my own and reflect my perspective as a board member, not necessarily a formal statement of the board. Over the past several months, our district has experienced a challenging and emotional period. Discussions around contracts, compensation, finances have been difficult. And along the way, trust within our community became more strained than it needed to be. Before addressing any of that, I want to be very clear about something that guides how I approach this role. Everything we do must ultimately be about what is best for the students of Ross Local Schools. That shared purpose is what brings together teachers, staff, administrators, board members, parents, and community members. I want to acknowledge the dedication of our teachers and staff. The care, professionalism, and commitment you bring to classrooms are seen, valued, and deserving of respect. Our schools succeed because of your hard work, and I do not take that for granted. At the same time, the Board of Education has a legal and moral duty to ensure that Ross remains financially stable, not just this year, but well into the future. The board must balance employee compensation decisions with what's sustainable for students and taxpayers. That responsibility isn't easy, but it is one that is taken very seriously. With that responsibility in mind, I think it's important to explain how we arrived at discussions around changing the step schedule structure. Over the past several years, teacher compensation at Ross did not keep pace with surrounding districts. I think that there's been a lot of discussion about that, and there's proof of that. During that time, the district sought voter approval for a significant operating levy under the previous administration. The levy didn't pass and required the district to reassess how existing resources were managed. Based on the financial projections, the Ohio State Auditor conducted a fiscal review of the district. It was a free review they did, and if you're ever having trouble falling asleep, it's online for you to read. Those recommendations were implemented as part of a broader effort to address the district's financial outlook. At the time, countywide property reevaluations resulted in property value increases of more than 30%. I think 34% was our average particularly for Ross. About 2/3 of that comes back directly into our pockets. So we didn't get it all, but we did get some. That was a one-time increase in funding, one that improved the district's financial position, but did so at the expense of local taxpayers. It's also important to note that the changes in state law now limit future increases of this nature to a maximum of 20%, so a little bit of help back into it. And Steve, correct me if I'm wrong on this number, but current projections indicate about $900,000 reduction in district revenue. Is that about right? Mm-hmm. And you know, the combination of implementing those auditors' recommendations and the one-time increase in property tax allowed the district to emerge from fiscal distress and regain financial stability. With that improved position, the board and the district also had a responsibility to allocate those funds carefully and responsibly. Simply applying the one-time revenue to the existing 18-step salary schedule through across-the-board increases would have created significant long-term obligations, and in my view, could have placed the district right back into that financial distress that we just got out of. At the same time, I believe we were facing a real challenge. Teachers at Ross had fallen behind neighboring districts in compensation, and they deserved a structure that better reflected their experience and value. That reality led to the concept of an extended step schedule. From my perspective, the extended step schedule allows compensation growth to be spread more evenly over a teacher's career. aligns long-term costs with predictable revenue, and avoids financial cliffs that threaten district solvency. It also provides higher starting salaries to attract new teachers and higher ending salaries to retain experienced educators, improving competitiveness at both ends of the career spectrum. Recognizing that many teachers had already experienced years of lagging compensation, the board and district sought a transition that demonstrated respect and good faith. The February proposal included a 3-step advancement for the current teachers. In practical terms, that represented an average increase of approximately 6% in the first year, still while preserving long-term financial stability. Through these structural changes, the proposal increased starting and ending salaries and resulted in nearly a $200,000 increase in additional career earnings almost across all salary lanes. Multiple financial analyses were conducted to ensure this approach was affordable and responsible. A lot of conversations were had. Steve, appreciate all the time that you put into this. We really do want to give the teachers as much as possible, and I believe you've made that happen. While I believe this proposal balanced competitive sustainability and respect for educators, negotiations did not continue for the remainder of the school year and remained stalled through the summer. When progress stopped, uncertainty grows, and that uncertainty has real effects. In my view, it led to several uncomfortable outcomes. Community conversations became more emotional and at times divisive. Public meetings and online space became tense rather than constructive. Time and energy was being diverted away from students and classrooms and toward conflict. Staff morale was being affected by prolonged uncertainty. I find it especially alarming when I have a 3rd grade and a 5th grade student come home and ask me about it. That bothers me a lot. It's obviously very effective. I've got relatives that live in the district, work here as well. It causes a lot of stress when you start talking about strikes, when you start talking about having to get loans out for Christmas. It's a terrifying reality that all of our teachers had to face. There is, however, a positive outcome. The past couple months, several negotiations were held and agreement was ultimately reached. The final contract is not significantly different from the proposal presented in February. It increases both starting and ending salaries and maintaining the district's long-term financial stability. It's a win. I believe that is a good outcome. At the same time, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that the process itself came at a cost. Prolonged uncertainty placed stress on people who did not deserve to be caught in the middle. Teachers suffered, families suffered, and the broader community suffered. Relationships were unnecessarily damaged. What makes this especially difficult for me is that 10 months later, we ultimately arrived at an agreement that was not far from the original proposal. And throughout that entire period, the district continued to reach out in an effort to move the process forward. That's something I find unacceptable, not just as a board member, but as a community member and as a parent of children in the district. My hope is that we learn from this experience and move forward in a way that rebuilds trust, reduces uncertainty, and keeps our focus where it belongs, on students and the people who serve them every day. Before I close, just want to thank a couple groups who carried the district through this challenging period. The administrative leadership team for their professionalism and steady leadership under difficult circumstances. Teachers and staff, thank you for continuing to show up for students every day. It truly shows your dedication and commitment did not go unnoticed. And to our community, parents, families, taxpayers, thank you for your engagement and continued investment in Ross Local Schools. Your trust matters, and I take that responsibility seriously. If we keep our focus on students, communicate honestly, and act with integrity, I believe Ross Local Schools will move forward stronger than before. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gunther. So, that's that. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will make the motion.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Any discussion on the motion? Call the roll, please.
Yes. Mr. Kleinfelter,
Yes.
Mrs. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Gunther,
Yes.
Mr. Beckman,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes. Merry Christmas to all and a Happy New Year.
All right.